that you don't really need to worry about money anymore, that you have the freedom to decide, okay, I do not need to exchange time for money anymore, and I can use my time for all the things that I really love. How much would that be? Now, if you really want to go on that path, and we would help you to do this, you have to have the faith, the absolute unequivocal belief that that can really happen, that that is possible, and that we can help you to get there. And you will probably be exposed to tons and tons and tons of people who say, oh, this is impossible, this is only for rich people, no normal person can ever own 40 houses, it's completely inconceivable, you better move somewhere where you only have $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month and you don't need to buy that many houses, and on and on and on. People are very, very good in trying to destroy your dreams, trying to destroy your vision, trying to destroy your ambition. But you need to have strong faith to say this is possible even though it hasn't been done before. And all the naysayers who say, oh, it's completely inconceivable. You gotta have the strength and the energy to say that doesn't matter to me because I know that I want to make it happen. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the series of Mindset Manual videos from the Ideal Wealth Grower channel. My name is Axel Meyerhöfer and I'm the founder of Ideal Wealth Grower and your host for today's episode. So we have come a long way. This is part 8 of the Mindset Manual series on our channel. And today we kind of want to wrap it up, and at the same time I like to introduce you to the last 2 laws that ultimately make this whole concept of the law of attraction actually work. And those last 2 laws are called the law of faith and the law of gestation. And those the one sounds maybe a little religious and the other one kind of sounds like a medicine or something like that, but we're going to dive into that. And then at the end of the video I also would like to bring everything together so that you have a summary which I call the success path, because a lot of you may have actually now looked through the Mindset Manual, you have listened to the videos, you have before or since you started maybe heard about the law of attraction, and a lot of people actually really like the concept and the idea of putting something into the world, having a vision, having a really big goal and then going after it. And there has been somewhat of disappointment because not a lot of people have been able to be successful using the law of attraction. So what I really wanted to help you with by this series, by the Mindset Manual and by these 8 different parts, is to really give you an opportunity to be one of those people who is really successful applying not just the law of attraction but the other laws that go with it. So let's go in. I again have here some of the slides prepared for you so that I can actually remind myself and then also be a little bit more concise. And let's start out with what is the law of faith. And it really doesn't have anything to do with religion or anything like that, because even though the term is oftentimes used in that context, but in this case it has more to do with the faith that you have into your own beliefs. One thing you have to keep in mind is when you put out a really, really great vision, a really, really big goal, or like we oftentimes call it, the big, hairy, audacious goal. So if you were, for example, to come and join us in our mentoring program for Ideal Wealth Grower, and you happen to live in a pretty expensive area like I do, somewhere in California, I live in the San Diego area, and you were to say, okay, how much money do I really need to make every month in passive income so I can very comfortably live in the San Diego area? We call that reaching the point of economic independence, where so much passive income every month comes into your bank account that you don't really need to worry about money anymore, that you have the freedom to decide, okay, I do not need to exchange time for money anymore, and I can use my time for all the things that I really love. How much would that be? Well, the more expensive the area is that you live in, the higher that number would be. And let's just for sake of argument say that number would be $10,000 a month. That's your big goal that you want to accomplish, $10,000 a month in passive income. Well, to accomplish that goal, you need to have a significant number of residential real estate if you follow our model. So most properties give you about $250 a month, at least when you first purchase them, as passive income after everything has been paid. Well, if you say I want $10,000 a month and you get $250 out of one, that means you have to get 40 properties, literally become the owner of 40 houses, 40 individual purchases of single family homes, and each paying you $250 a month, and you're going to end up with $10,000 a month. Now, if you really want to go on that path, and we would help you to do this, you have to have the faith, the absolute unequivocal belief that that can really happen, that that is possible, and that we can help you to get there. And you will probably be exposed to tons and tons and tons of people who say, oh, this is impossible. This is only for rich people. No normal person can ever own 40 houses. It's completely inconceivable. You better move somewhere where you only have $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, and you don't need to buy that many houses, and on and on and on. People are very, very good in trying to destroy your dreams, trying to destroy your vision, trying to destroy your ambition, and in the process also your big, hairy, audacious goal. Now, the law of faith means you have to be faithful to yourself and to that goal that you have, to that vision that you have. And the stronger that energy is, the stronger and unshakable that energy is, the more likely you are going to accomplish this. Now, I want to give you a few little examples because it can be abstract. So one example is the goal to get $10,000 a month and buy 40 houses, but it happens right now in our environment. One of the people that I really believe is an amazing example of the strong faith into something that everybody else is saying is impossible. Take Elon Musk. When he started SpaceX, the rocket company, he said, what we really need to accomplish is that we don't shoot rockets into the sky and then let them burn up in the atmosphere after they delivered the satellite or they did what we actually intended them to do. That is a waste. That is similar to getting on an airline, flying from, let's say, Los Angeles to London, and then throw away the plane. So people said, well, that makes sense, but how are you going to do anything about it? And he said, well, we need to find a way to recover the hardware that we set up into the sky. And now you have probably seen plenty of these little videos, and if not, then I can only encourage you to do it. He and his company accomplished a way to send the rocket up, deliver the payload, and bring the rocket back every day, every time. Or he said another thing, a strong vision is, I want to make it possible that any person, anywhere, at any time, has access to the internet. And so they founded Starlink, and they have the goal to put 4,000 satellites into the orbit around Earth. So regardless where you are, and regardless how much money you have, you will have the option to have access to internet. I wasn't aware that more than 2 billion people right now have no access to internet. But you need to have strong faith to say this is possible even though it hasn't been done before. And all the naysayers who say, oh, it's completely inconceivable. You gotta have the strength and the energy to say that doesn't matter to me because I know that I want to make it happen. And you understand that there will be stumbling blocks and things that don't go well and that may go wrong and so forth and so forth. So when you think about that second part, what could go wrong, that brings me directly to the law of gestation. Because there is a relationship between the audaciousness of the goal or the vision that you're putting out and the time it takes to make it happen. So if you ask me how long does it take somebody under normal circumstances, taking normal bank financing, normal resources, let's say a reasonably well-paying job, to actually get 40 houses, $10,000 a month, and not having to work anymore, even when you live in, let's say, San Diego or Los Angeles or New York. And I would say you probably have to assume 15 years. Why? Because it's such a big goal, it's so many properties, it's just going to take a certain amount of time. And the larger the number of properties, the longer it's going to take. Even though you accelerate, the further and further you get into it, it still takes longer than if your goal would be to say, I only need to get 5. The same thing is, by the way, true in the example with Elon Musk. How long does it take to actually get all the rockets, the whole part of the rocket, to land back after it's gone to space? They're working on this and they're hoping to get it done by 2025, and they started in 2014 with the first attempts to make that happen, right? So that's pretty much almost a 10, 11-year period to get there, right? Very similar to the 40 houses. And having enough satellites around the globe so everybody living on our planet can have internet access through that system is probably going to take 10, 15, maybe even 20 years as well. So why is it called gestation, the law of gestation? It's basically the period it takes for something really big, really visionary, really ambitious to gestate into that time frame that it is possible. Now, why does it take that? Because you need to be willing to accept first, as the one who has the vision and the goal, that it takes this time. And you need to be okay with the time it takes to get to the end point. You need to be okay with the fact that the universe is not just going to give you what you're asking for, that there are steps that need to happen over time. And the bigger the goal, the longer it's going to take. So having real faith in what you want to accomplish, together with being willing to accept that it takes a certain amount of time, is directly connected when it comes to these 2 laws in the overall set of the 6 laws that I mentioned when we first started. Why we basically need to be willing to accept that the law of attraction by itself doesn't really necessarily work. So I want to come back and summarize what we have gone through in these previous 7 videos that are related to the mindset manual, and how you can take the last few that actually describe the 6 laws that you need to do to get on the success path to realize your vision and really accomplish your big, hairy, audacious goal in a summary in just like a few minutes, so that you have it all together. Now, when you actually go in the mindset menu, you will see the laws, the 6 laws that all work together in a summary fashion, and then further explanations. But I want to also put this here in the video, and for each one of those I gave a little bit of a summary explanation that I'm going to read to you, so that you can see it all like in the next minute or two. So let's go back to the very beginning with the law of attraction and what that actually means on the success path. And what I wrote for you here is, you define the final outcome and vision and start asking the universe to help you realize it. It might take more than a lifetime. You attract help and people to support you, and sometimes develop a movement. This is important because it can be that what your vision is so big that it takes longer than you are around on this planet, but that doesn't mean it's not worth trying. Now, in most cases, it's not necessarily that big, but be aware that that could happen, and that you want to have ultimately a movement of people who believe in what you believe in, so they can carry on. Now, the second law we talked about is the law of purpose. Remember that? I said the big term around that is the word why. So what I wrote for you here for the law of purpose is, you get very clear about why do you want to accomplish this vision? Why is this your goal? Why is it desirable to create the vision you imagine? And then we go to the law of choice and accountability, and what I wrote for you there is, you determine what steps need to be taken to work steadily towards the realization of the vision that you have. And you are holding yourself accountable for the actions that you take. And on that path there might be mistakes. And instead of pushing it to other people, make yourself accountable for the mistakes that have happened. That also means you deserve every right for all the good things and all the successes that happen to take credit. Now the next one, number 4, was the law of alignment. And what I wrote for you there is, you check frequently that the things you do and say and the actions you take are aligned with the vision and the support your path of achieving that vision. So you want to have alignment. And this is especially tricky when you start getting surrounded by all kinds of naysayers who bring argument after argument after argument to tell you why what you want to accomplish couldn't work. So you need to be careful and always ask yourself, am I still aligned with my vision? Am I still communicating clearly where we go? Can I still clearly describe what the end result, that end vision, that end goal actually looks like? If people say, shouldn't you be satisfied with 20 properties, with 20 houses, and with half the money? If you have really clear faith in your vision of $10,000, live in San Diego, never have to basically worry about money again, then other people's talk and doubts should not take you away from your vision. And you want to make sure that what you say is aligned with that vision and that goal. So then you get to today's two last goals, and I mentioned those in more detail earlier already: faith and gestation. Faith just means it needs to be very obvious that you completely believe in the possibility and probability of making your vision and your goal happen. Yes, that means you can get help. Look at Elon Musk. He has now, I think, 100,000 people working in the different companies that he is leading. Help is fine, but you need still to be the motivator, the energy, the engine, the faith into what you want to accomplish, and then have the awareness and let people know that you totally understand that it's going to take time. That's the law of gestation. And be willing to understand that this time that it takes is not a negative thing. It just needs to evolve and develop, and it needs to go through its evolution. In a way, when you think back to the beginning of our series, I gave you a little bit of an insight into the monarch butterfly that starts out as an egg, becomes a caterpillar, then goes in a cocoon, and ultimately becomes the butterfly. That is a period of gestation through different steps. And that is known and that is accepted. And when you take all those things together, then the law of attraction, the very first one, can actually work. You just need to add the other 5. So I really hope this makes a lot of sense. This gives you courage and hope and energy and motivation to really set an ambitious goal, to have a really ambitious vision, and then seek the help, create the movement, communicate frequently about it, and remind yourself that it can take time. It's okay to take time as long as you keep the faith. So with that being said, I want to thank all of you who have gone through the whole series. For those of you who just come to this last video in the series, I like to encourage you to go back and start at the beginning and work your way through, just because it's going to make more sense. And if you haven't done it yet, please go to our website at idealwealthgrower.com/free and download the mindset menu so you can have that next to you and the videos to take you through the series. So as I said, I hope it really helped you. I hope that you will be very successful. If you're actually one of those people who would like to have 5, 10, 15, or maybe even 40 properties in residential real estate to get away from having to exchange time for money and reach this economic independence goal, then please contact us. We are here and love to help you to accomplish this together. So with that being said, if you haven't done it yet, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. There will be new videos coming out now that we're getting to the end of the year. We're going to prepare ourselves for success in 2021. So please ring the notification bell so that you're actually going to be notified when more videos come out. With that being said, this is a wrap on the Mindset Manual. I see you soon in another video. And please also share these videos, this one and all the other ones in the series, with your network, because there are many, many people who have very ambitious goals and they've heard about the law of attraction but have wondered, how can I make it happen? And this is your success path to use the law of attraction together with the other 5 laws and really become successful and accomplish what you dream about. Thank you, be well and be safe.